Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Public Live. Today it's June 1st, and I'm your host, Anne Berry, kicking off with you the new month. And with us, delighted to do so, Nicholas Jammett, co-founder of Sweetgreen. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Anne, for having me.
So, Nick, let's talk a little bit about the founding story of Sweetgreen. It's such an incredible story of vision. Tell us a little bit about how you got Sweetgreen going.
So Sweetgreen started almost a little over 15 years ago in Washington, D.C. in our Georgetown dorm room with my two co-founders, Jonathan and Nathaniel. And it started simply as a way for us to solve a problem we had in our own lives. You know, we kept having this conversation every single day of, you know, where we'd want to eat and feeling like there was no option that fit our lives or our needs. And we wanted to create a solution that could solve the problem. And so we set out to write a business plan and raised $350,000 from friends and teachers and former bosses and anyone that would really listen to us. And, you know, 2 months after graduation, opened our doors in our first 560 square foot little salad and yogurt shop. And that was, you know, really where Sweetgreen was born.
And then we roll forward, Nicholas, to mid-November 2021, and suddenly your baby's going public. So you guys, Sweetgreen IPO'd towards the end of last year. Can you talk a little bit about how the business has shifted since going public and how priorities maybe have changed?
You know, we were really excited for the IPO because for us, we saw it as another, you know, opening of a door to the next chapter of Sweetgreen to allow us to just further grow our mission and reach more people with this kind of food. And just connect people to healthy food in a broader way. So for us, you know, it wasn't about changing priorities. It was really just about accelerating our mission and reaching more people with our food. And really, we saw it as an unlock for us, you know, not only from a capital point of view, but, you know, as a public company, really to have the, you know, the reach and the presence to, you know, to open Sweetgreen and open our doors in all these different communities and cities around the country. So we're excited to be doing that.
So we're now starting to go into the second half of 2022, you know, at the end of this month, we will be. As you look ahead for the balance of this year, Nicholas, what are some of the key priorities Sweetgreen's focusing on right now?
You know, our priorities have remained pretty consistent, really just around focusing on our team members and our incredible team of 5,000 team members that show up every day to interact with our customers and make our food, and really think about how we continue to optimize the team member experience just as much as the customer experience. And then really thinking about our growth and expansion into new markets and new cities and, you know, reaching people with our food ethos and connecting with, you know, growers and farmers and food partners and really bringing Sweetgreen to life in all these new exciting communities. So, you know, we're very focused on, you know, executing our growth and continuing to double down on just improving our customer experience, whether that's digital or physical in our restaurants. And again, focusing on our team member experience.
You talked about having the unlock that came with the IPO, Nicholas, and using that to expand into different locations. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you're at Sweetgreen looking at pickup-only locations? That's been a really interesting growth area that we've seen, you know, particularly through the pandemic, a number of restaurant concepts pursue. How are you thinking about pickup-only as a driver of growth?
Sure. You know, the IPO was exciting because it was really a platform for us to tell our story to the world and to our community, and really share, you know, what our vision is and what our growth goals are. And so as we think about expanding around the country, you know, we're really excited to be testing and innovating in the format and the experience of which customers can interact with our product. And so whether that's our Sweet Lane, pull-through lanes, new format, or a pickup-only kitchen, we're really excited for that because so much of our business, even pre-COVID, was digital. So having such a strong relationship with our such a strong digital relationship with our customer has allowed us to really, you know, rethink the, you know, an omni-channel physical experience in our restaurants and make sure that we're building experiences for all these different channels that remove friction for the customer ultimately.
I remember coming across the first Sweetgreen pickup-only location, Nicholas, that I tried. It was actually in LA. It was out in West Hollywood. And I remember turning up, and I actually hadn't realized at the time it had begun pickup-only. But I was trained pretty quickly in understanding how useful it was. Have you seen good conversion between customers like me who are used to going into Sweetgreen, standing at the salad bar, ordering what I wanted? Have people like me switched over to becoming digital predominantly in a good way?
We've seen really exciting conversion to, we have a really high frequency from some of our regular customers and so many of our users. And, when they oftentimes discover Sweetgreen in our front line, so they'll walk into a restaurant, interact with the team member, learn about our food, see our menu. And, then often when they come back, they see either there's a line or, they want to remove some of that friction. So converting them to our digital ordering channels is really an exciting way for customers, whether they want to use that every time or use it in moments when they don't want to wait. We see customers really convert onto those digital channels and become even more frequent because it's easier to connect with the product. So, we started building in pickup and ordering ahead, almost a decade ago into our restaurants. And so we've seen so much of our consumers over the years just, have that consistent behavior and know that that's a channel for them, if whether they want to come into the restaurant and order on our front line and sit down and enjoy a meal with friends, or if they're picking up something on the go and don't have time to wait. So it really allows customers to, opt into whatever journey they'd like.
So you've got at Sweetgreen format innovation, Nicholas. Another area that Sweetgreen, for as long as I think it's existed, has been innovating is around actual menu content and the dishes that Sweetgreen is serving. What are the new menu innovation focus areas right now?
Sure. So we are, incredibly excited to always be testing a variety of things in our lab here at our Sweetgreen Support Center. And, those range from really continuing to broaden our menu with some heartier options and, more warm food, and really thinking about how we can, make sure our menu appeals to a broader set of customers and guests. And so last year and over the past 2 years, we've innovated by adding plates to our menu, which are, a heartier offering that doesn't have lettuce as a base, but really leans into proteins and grains and sauces, but still leveraging the incredible supply chain and ingredients that we get to source from these amazing farmers and growers and food partners in our supply network. So really continuing to innovate there and double down on, things like protein innovation and other exciting, plant-based options that we're excited to be testing over the course of the next year.
You've had some help too, right, Nicholas? I think Sweetgreen's been doing some interesting collaboration with athletes in particular. You've got Naomi Osaka, Devin Booker, who have become ambassadors for Sweetgreen. How involved have they been in designing new menu options?
What's really exciting about the partnership with Naomi and Devin is it really focused on the part of our menu that sometimes we don't talk as much about, which is the create your own. And given the breadth of our ingredients and the breadth of our flavors and dressings, the possibilities for what combinations and bowls you can put together are kind of endless, and really leans into the food we serve is food you can eat every day. So having that optionality and that variety in what you can eat, and trying to avoid menu fatigue is really exciting. So the campaign with Naomi and Devin was really just celebrating their custom orders. And, our approach to these partnerships and collaborations, whether it's with, the world's greatest chefs or athletes or gamers, has always been finding and connecting with partners that are already guests, believe in our food ethos, and love the product. And so that we can have an organic and natural and authentic relationship. So Naomi and Devin were both customers, before we started working with them in a deeper way. And, Naomi's custom order was just the bowl she would order a couple times a week to fuel her training. And so we loved being able to tell that story and share that no matter what your dietary preferences are, your nutritional needs, your flavor preferences, you can create and craft a bowl of Sweetgreen that fits those, whether you're a world-class athlete or anyone.
Menu innovation has helped grow Sweetgreen. New formats, new locations have. Nicholas, talk to us a little bit about prices. We've seen menu price hikes have been a catalyst for revenue growth across lots of different food retailers. Sweetgreen, no exception, saw that you implemented a 6% increase in January of 2022, and that was off the back of a 4% increase a year prior in January 2021. What is the outlook for prices right now? Are you expecting consumers at some point to say, look, just enough, inflation is rampant everywhere we purchase, there's only so much price absorption we can take?
Yeah, I would say everyone across the industry is being faced with supply chain headwinds. And for us, we like to focus on, value, price value, not just general pricing. And for us, as we think about continuing to, really invest in our team members, invest in our supply chain in times like this, we do focus on value across the menu. So for us, really focusing on having entry points and a broad range of entry point prices. So, consumers can come in and get a bowl for $9 or $10, or, if they opt to build your own and make a much bigger bowl or bigger order, it can be more than that. But, making sure there's optionality for any consumer to come in and have the price or flavor or bowl that they want. And so for us, we're very focused on price value and continuing to source from this incredible supply network, this high quality, local, organic, and regional, these ingredients that we're so proud of, and then continuing to invest in our team members.
It's not just the consumer who's feeling the pinch on inflation, Nicholas. I'd love to get your perspective on how Sweetgreen has been handling supply chain issues. Your costs of production have gone up, whether it's ingredients, whether it's the associates you're hiring, and wage pressure. How are you looking at the outlook for that and managing through it?
What we're really proud of is our differentiated and local supply chain, and it's built on long-term partnerships. So even though this has been a challenging year to your point, all stakeholders, for us, those long-term partnerships are really important in making sure that we can stand by a lot of these farmers and growers and producers we've been working with for, some of them up to a decade, year over year. And so that relationship is really important to us. And that supply chain also gives us a lot of flexibility to be creative when some of these headwinds come across different categories. Luckily we don't buy as much, we don't buy any red meat. We're not as dependent on some of those commodities as other brands. Right. So it does give us a little more flexibility, and really pretty much everything we buy does come domestically. So, I think we've been able to navigate some of the supply chain headwinds really great. And, I have a lot of gratitude for our brilliant supply chain team that shows up every day and brings our food to life in a really incredible way. So, that's really been the focus of trying to maintain these longer term relationships and continue to invest in our food system.
It's been a tough ride. It's been interesting to see Sweetgreen innovate around that too, and having fewer associates, I guess, in the storefront as well. Nicholas, I can't let you go without asking what you're seeing in terms of consumer behavior and Sweetgreen traffic at this point in time, where there's huge debate by companies about how to get people back to the office. I remember when I was in the office and we would do these massive group orderings of Sweetgreen for lunches, and the debate's huge. And I thought Elon Musk today has basically ordered people back into the Tesla offices. Anyone who doesn't turn up is assumed to have resigned. On the other hand, we've got Airbnb saying everyone can work remotely indefinitely. What's Sweetgreen seeing in real terms in terms of traffic in these what have historically been high office density neighborhoods?
Yeah,
seeing in real time.
Seeing out there where, the consumer, their behavior is shifting and their traffic patterns have definitely evolved. And so, every time we assume where it's going to go, the world, shifted a few times over the past 2 years with different variants and different inputs. But, for us, we're very focused on, meeting the customer where they are. So whether that's, really leaning into our suburban pipeline and meeting people where they are now working or where they live, and continuing to, invest in building that community. So, I think we're seeing what everyone else is seeing out there where, folks are not coming back into office. And if they are, it's not, 5-day work week is, not something we're seeing in most places. So, we're big believers in adaptability and making sure that from an offering point of view, from a pipeline point of view, and from a format and channel point of view, we just meet the customer where they are. So, we have one of our, exciting channels is Outpost. It's basically taking our pickup shelf and putting it in office buildings or gyms or residential towers. And so we've seen some exciting momentum there as people do start to come back to offices and maybe want different amenities. And so, we're excited to continue to, listen and learn from the customer and really meet them where they are.
And there's a new loyalty program, right, Nicholas? Sweet Pass has just launched. Is that right?
Sweet Pass was a test that we launched in January just to understand, the different components that will make up, a more comprehensive Sweetgreen loyalty program. So it was really exciting to test that and get some, insights from our customers. And again, I think part of what really excites us is when we talk about price value and really frequency of our guests and having a program that is more targeted and customized to each user. That gets us really excited.
And Nicholas, you made a comment earlier about how most of the ingredients are locally sourced, so you've got a huge domestic focus at Sweetgreen. Any aspirations for international growth?
We are incredibly excited to bring Sweetgreen to every community around the world. Eventually, today we're really excited and focused on our domestic growth. And, we're opening in some really exciting cities and states this year, including, all around the Midwest, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Detroit. And so really excited to be bringing Sweetgreen and our food to those communities. So, eventually we get excited about being everywhere, but for now, very focused on domestic.
Now, I spend a lot of time in Europe. We definitely need you to be transatlantic. I do miss Sweetgreen when I'm not here in the US. Anything else, Nicholas, just as you think about the top experiments? Sweetgreen has always experimented and leaned in on its winners and took learnings from its various initiatives. Anything else top of mind right now where Sweetgreen really is trying to do something new and creative?
We've always been huge fans of just balancing innovation and execution and just being very focused on the customer. And so for us, I think in this moment where the world is shifting, just really, even internally, we've talked a lot about the power of adaptability and just continuing to listen and observe, the customer and how we can shift and adapt our business to meet their needs. And so, I think the best companies and brands and businesses look ahead and really stay very obsessed on the customer. And so we've really done that. And, when I say customer, I also mean our internal customer, our team member. So really balancing the needs of the team member experience and our guests at the same time.
And any sort of insight, Nicholas, into who your typical customer is? It's interesting when you talk about the different locations you're going to. Are you finding customers of every demographic gravitating to Sweetgreen, or are there white spaces you're looking at too?
It's been really exciting, I would say, even zooming out, looking at the past 10 or even 15 years and seeing how much broader our consumer has become at Sweetgreen. And so, we're excited to continue investing in, attracting all different types of consumers, demographics. And, we look a lot at psychographics also at the mindset of our customer and how we really can connect with them. So it's been exciting to see it broaden. And that's when we talk about, channel mix and broadening our menu. It's all in the efforts to really start to connect Sweetgreen to broader communities out there all around the country.
Nicholas Jammett, co-founder of Sweetgreen, thank you so much for taking the time to share your perspectives. Lots to look out for, and I think next time we're all at Sweetgreen, we'll be a little bit better informed as we're making our way through the consumption journey. Thanks so much. That's it, folks. Appreciate you all taking the time to join. Come back to Public Live. Got a great series of speakers coming up this month. It'll be a good time to learn some more. Cheers.
If you would like to see more content like this, subscribe to our channel and download the Public app where you can listen to these sessions in live time.